Welcome to One Goal English Podcast. Your journey to fluent English starts here.
So, what if I told you that the biggest barrier to speaking fluent English is not your vocabulary?
Right. Yeah. People always think it's the vocabulary.
Exactly. But it's not. It is not your grammar, and it is definitely not your pronunciation. I mean, the biggest barrier is actually just your absolute refusal to look a little bit foolish.
Oh, that is entirely true. Yeah, we
Yeah.
spend so much time trying to build the perfect sentence in our heads that we just forget to actually open our mouths.
We really do.
We forget to connect with the person standing right in front of us,
Right.
Right?
And, well, welcome to week 4 of our 30-day English speaking challenge. If you are listening to this right now, you have made it to the final week.
Which is a huge accomplishment, honestly.
It really is. I mean, week 1, we focused on building a daily habit. Then in week 2, we stretched your sentences to make them longer. Week 3, we tackled those real-life conversations. And now,
Now we stop preparing, right?
exactly, we stop aiming for perfection.
Yeah, the mission for week 4 is simple, but it's really powerful. You are going to combine everything you have practiced so that you can speak freely, smoothly, and confidently without stopping.
Without stopping. That is the key.
Right, because this week is not about learning complex new grammar rules. It is just about taking the English you already have and, well, making it flow.
And remember our golden rule here, guys. Confidence does not come from speaking perfectly. Confidence comes from speaking regularly.
Yes, daily practice.
Right. When you let go of the fear of making a mistake, that is when true fluency really begins.
Yeah, to stop feeling foolish, you have to start sharing who you actually are. That brings us directly to day 22 of our challenge.
Day 22. So today is all about expressing your opinions.
Which we do all the time.
We really do.
Right.
We share our opinions every single day. We talk about the food we like, the movies we hate, how we feel about the weather.
Oh, especially the weather.
Right. I mean, sharing your opinion is how people get to know your real personality.
Yeah.
But for English learners, this is often a bit of a trap.
It really is a trap. I see learners do this all the time. Like someone asks them, do you prefer tea or coffee?
Right.
And the learner just says, I prefer tea, and then silence.
The dreaded silence.
Yeah, the conversation completely stops right there.
Right. It feels like hitting a brick wall. Like if I am the person asking the question and you just give me a 3-word answer, I suddenly have to do all the mental heavy lifting to keep the conversation alive.
That is the perfect way to describe it. Actually, in human communication, there is a concept called holding the floor.
Holding the floor.
Yeah. When you are speaking, you hold the floor. When you give a very short opinion and just stop, you drop the floor.
You dropped the floor. I like that.
Right, and to keep the momentum going, you have to give the other person conversational hooks.
Okay, hooks. What exactly do you mean by hooks?
Well, hooks are reasons. When you give a reason for your opinion, you give the other person something to react to.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, so that brings us to our absolute rule for day 22. You must support every single opinion with at least 2 reasons. Not 1, but 2.
2 reasons. Okay, let's unpack this for our listeners. We have some target phrases to help you do this smoothly.
Simple phrases.
Exactly. The starting phrases are, I think, I believe, I prefer.
And then to attach those hooks, we use phrases like, I agree because, or I don't agree because.
Right. So let's model this for the listeners so they can hear the actual difference between dropping the floor and holding the floor.
Good idea. Let's debate reading books versus watching movies. I will ask you first. Okay.
Okay, I'm ready.
Do you prefer reading books or watching movies?
I prefer reading books.
See, listener, that was a dead
The
end.
total brick wall.
Right. Now I have to think of another question right away to save the conversation. So let's try it again, but this time, follow the rule. Give me 2 reasons using the target phrases.
Okay, here we go. In my opinion, I prefer reading books. I feel this way for 2 reasons. First, I agree, because reading uses my imagination. I can picture the characters in the world in my own mind. Second, I believe it is better because I learn new vocabulary. When I see a word on the printed page, I remember it much better than when I just hear it quickly in a movie.
Oh, wow. Notice how different that feels, listener.
It sounds like a real engaging conversation now.
It really does. You gave me so many hooks. I mean, I can now talk about imagination, or I could talk about learning vocabulary. You made it incredibly easy for me to reply.
It takes all the pressure off the other person.
It really does. Let's do another quick example to let the listener hear the rhythm again. Let's talk about exercise.
Oh, good topic.
Right. So, do you prefer exercising in the morning or in the evening?
Well, I think exercising in the morning is much better. I prefer the morning for two specific reasons. First, I agree because it gives me energy for the entire day. When I run early in the morning, my brain feels awake. Second, I believe the morning is better because it is quiet. There are fewer cars and people outside, so it is a very peaceful experience.
Great job. You used I think, I prefer, I agree because, and I believe. And your two reasons, energy and quiet, they were extremely clear.
Thanks. But wait, I do have a question about this.
Sure, what is it?
If our listener is an absolute beginner, maybe like an A1 or A2 level, isn't it safer for them to just say, I like mornings and stop? Giving two reasons sounds like a lot of extra work.
Feel safer in the short term, yeah. But it actually creates more anxiety in the long term.
Oh, really? How so?
Because if you just say, I like mornings, the other person's going to ask you why anyway.
That's true. People always ask why.
Exactly. And then you are put on the spot all over again. By offering the reasons immediately, you actually take control of the conversation. You lead the dance.
That makes total sense. You take control. Okay, listener, it is time for your practice. We want you to speak out loud wherever you are right now.
Yes, we will give you a topic. The topic is online learning. Do you like learning online through a computer, or do you prefer learning inside a traditional physical classroom?
We want you to start your sentence with, in my opinion. Then, tell us your choice.
Yeah.
Finally, give us two reasons why.
And please do not worry about having perfect grammar. Just focus on giving those two reasons.
We are going to pause the audio for a few moments so you can speak aloud right now. Ready? Go ahead. Excellent effort. Even if you hesitated or if you had to stop and search for a word, you practiced holding the floor.
Exactly. You gave the conversation momentum. And, you can practice this structure with any topic.
Any topic at all.
Yeah. The next time you're watching television or eating dinner, just talk to yourself. Say, in my opinion, this pizza is great for two reasons. It builds the habit in your brain.
I love that. Pizza is always a good topic. Now, sharing opinions is great when things are comfortable, but what happens when you step out into the real world and everything goes wrong?
Oh, boy.
Right. That brings us to day 23, which is all about solving everyday problems.
This is where most language learners just freeze because life is full of small disasters. You lose your bag, you miss your train, you buy a phone charger, and it is completely broken.
Yes. Have you ever tried to speak a second language and suddenly your mind goes completely blank? In a situation like that, you forget words you have known for years.
Oh, absolutely. But that is not a memory problem. That is actually a biological panic response.
Really? Biological?
Yeah. When you are stressed, your body releases cortisol, your brain goes into fight or flight mode, and when that happens, the brain actually shuts down access to complex thinking, which includes your second language vocabulary.
Wow. So how do we stop that panic response? How do we keep the conversation moving when we just feel like running away?
The secret is having a cognitive reset button.
A reset button.
Yes. We use polite, fixed phrases. When you learn these phrases deeply, you do not have to think about them. They just come out automatically. And using them buys your brain 3 vital seconds to calm down.
I love that. 3 vital seconds. So our target phrases for solving problems are, excuse me, could you help me? I have a problem. What should I do? Is there another option?
Let's analyze why these work so well. Excuse me, and could you help me do something very specific? They instantly change the dynamic.
Right, you are not attacking the person.
Exactly. You are inviting them to be a hero. People naturally want to help when they're asked politely.
Let's practice this with a role play. Let's imagine a highly stressful situation. We are at a very busy train station. I have just looked in my bag and realized my wallet is gone.
Oh, no.
Yeah, panic time. You are a staff member working at the station. Let's show how to handle this.
I am ready. Listener, notice how the host approaches this situation.
Excuse me, could you help me, please?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
What is the matter?
I have a problem. I cannot find my wallet. I think I left it on the train that just arrived. What should I do?
I am so sorry to hear that. Please try to take a deep breath. We have a lost property office. I can call them for you right now to see if the cleaner found it.
Thank you so much. Is there another option if they do not have it? Can I leave my name and phone number with you?
Yes, absolutely. We can fill out a report form together right now.
Phew. Okay, let's step out of the role play. My heart was actually beating a little faster just pretending to lose my wallet.
I could tell, but did you notice the words you used?
I think so, yeah.
Your words were incredibly calm, even if your mind was racing. I mean, you did not run up to me and shout, "My wallet is gone! Stop the train!"
No, I used the cognitive reset button. I said, "Excuse me, could you help me, please?" That bought me a few seconds to actually breathe. It also made you, the station worker, feel respected.
Right. Then you used simple, clear facts. You said, "I have a problem. I cannot find my wallet."
Keep it simple.
Exactly. When you are panicked, do not try to use complicated past perfect grammar. Just use simple subject-verb-object sentences.
And then I used my favorite phrase, "What should I do?" I love this phrase so much.
It is very powerful.
It really is, because I don't have to know the answer. I am handing the problem to the expert. I am basically asking you for the next step.
And you followed up beautifully with, "Is there another option?" This shows you are actively working with me to find a solution.
It keeps the conversation moving.
Yes. Let's do one more role play. Let's do another classic stressful situation. Missing a long-distance bus.
Oh, this is the worst feeling. Okay, I am at the bus station. My bus was supposed to leave at 3 o'clock. It is now 3:10 and the bus is gone. You are the ticket agent behind the glass window.
All right, I'm the agent. Hello. Next in line, please. How can I help you today?
Excuse me. Could you help me? I have a problem.
Yes. What seems to be the issue?
I had a ticket for the 3 o'clock bus to London, but I was late and I missed it. What should I do?
Let me look at the computer. Yes, the 3 o'clock bus has already departed. Let me check the schedule for you. The next bus with available seats is not until 6 o'clock this evening.
Oh no, 6 o'clock is very late for me. I need to be in London earlier. Is there another option?
Well, let's see. There is a fast train that leaves from the station across the street in 30 minutes. I can refund your bus ticket and you can buy a train ticket instead.
That is a wonderful option. Thank you for your help.
End of role play.
Wow, okay.
Once again, the exact same phrases worked in a completely different environment. "Excuse me, could you help me? I have a problem. What should I do? Is there another option?"
These phrases are truly your survival tools. You should carry them in your mental backpack everywhere you go.
Definitely.
Now, listener, it is time for your practice. We are going to put you in a slightly stressful situation.
Right. Imagine you bought a new shirt yesterday at a clothing store, but when you took it home and put it on, you saw a large tear, a hole right in the sleeve. You need to return this product to the store.
So I will be the shop assistant. You need to use your target phrases. Get my attention politely. Tell me you have a problem with a shirt. And ask me what the next step is.
Speak out loud right now. Ready.
Hello, welcome back to the store. Can I help you with anything?
Take a moment to answer out loud. Remember to start politely.
Good. Now tell me what is wrong with the shirt. Use the phrase, "I have a problem."
Keep going. You are doing great.
Oh, I am so sorry to see that hole in the sleeve.
Now, ask the assistant for the solution.
Fantastic practice. I will gladly exchange that shirt for a brand new one for you.
Awesome job. By staying calm and using those specific phrases, you turned a potential argument into a simple, polite exchange. That is real fluency.
It really is. And, once you can handle the bumps and problems of daily life, you start having experiences. And experiences are meant to be shared.
They absolutely are.
Which leads us perfectly into day 24, which is all about telling a longer story.
This is a fun one. Up until this point in the challenge, we have been answering questions and solving quick problems. But human brains are wired for narrative. Storytelling is how we connect.
It really is.
It is how we build friendships in any language.
But telling a story in a second language can feel like running a marathon. I mean, you start strong, but halfway through you get lost, you forget your vocabulary, and you just stop.
Yeah, that happens a lot. To prevent that, we rely on structure. A good story must have 5 distinct parts.
5 parts. Got it.
Yes, a beginning, a middle, an ending, your feelings, and a lesson learned.
Okay, let's focus on that 4th one for a second. Feelings. Why are feelings so important in a story?
Because a story without feelings is just a police report.
A police report. That is so true.
Right. If I say, I went to the store, I bought milk, I walked home, that is a report of facts. It is totally boring. But if I say, I went to the store because I was desperately craving chocolate milk, but they were completely sold out, I felt so disappointed as I walked home, suddenly you actually care about the story.
Feelings make the story human.
Exactly. And to link all these parts together, you need connecting words. Words like because, then, after that, and finally. These are the glue that holds your sentences together.
Let's demonstrate this for the listener. I want to tell a story about a funny experience.
Perfect. As you tell it, I'm going to interrupt you at key moments to point out the structure to our listener.
Okay, sounds good. I have a story about a funny experience that happened a few years ago when I was traveling in Japan.
Let's stop right there. That is the beginning. You set the scene immediately. You told us when it was and where you were. Setting the scene helps the listener build a mental picture. Please continue.
Well, I wanted to eat at a very traditional local restaurant. I walked inside, sat down, and the menu was entirely in Japanese, with no pictures at all. I did not speak a single word of Japanese. I felt incredibly nervous, but I was also starving.
Stop again. Did you catch that, listener? Notice how the feelings were described. I felt incredibly nervous, but I was also starving. We can all relate to that mix of emotions. Now we enter the middle of the story, where the action happens. Listen for those connecting words.
So because I was so hungry, I decided to just point at something completely random on the menu. The waiter smiled and nodded. Then I waited. After that, the waiter came back. But he did not bring me a small, normal plate of sushi. He brought me a giant, whole fish. It even still had the head and the eyes on it. It was massive.
Pause right there. Excellent use of connecting words in the middle of the story. Because then, after that, these words move the action forward step by step. And the details. A giant whole fish with the head and eyes on it. Details make a story memorable. So how does it end?
Well, finally, I realized I just had to eat it. The restaurant staff were quietly watching me. So I picked up my chopsticks, closed my eyes, and took a bite. It's actually delicious, but I eat so much fish I could hardly walk out of the restaurant.
And that is the ending. The action is finished. The connecting word finally signals to the listener's brain that the story is wrapping up. But wait, we are missing the final puzzle piece. What is the lesson learned?
Right. The lesson I learned is that sometimes it is good to take a risk and try something completely unknown. You might discover something amazing.
And there is the lesson learned. Ending with a lesson gives your story a very satisfying conclusion. It leaves the listener with something meaningful to think about. That was a perfect narrative structure.
Thank you. But I need to ask a very realistic question here.
Sure, go ahead.
What if our listener hits a wall in the middle of their story? Like, let's say I'm telling that story, and suddenly I completely forget the English word for chopsticks. I might freeze, panic, and just ruin the whole story.
Oh, that is a very normal fear.
Yeah.
But you must coach yourself to keep moving forward. Fluency is about the flow of information, not getting stuck on one missing vocabulary word. If you forget a word, you use a strategy called talking around it.
Talking around it. I describe the missing word instead. Like instead of chopsticks.
What would I say? You could say, so I picked up the 2 small wooden sticks for eating.
Oh, the 2 small wooden sticks for eating. Yes, absolutely. Everyone would understand exactly what I meant.
Exactly. Or if you forget the word menu, you can say the paper with the list of food. Native speakers actually do this all the time when we forget a word. We just describe it and keep talking. The goal of a story is connection. It is not a perfect vocabulary test. Just keep the story flowing.
That is so freeing. Okay, listener, it is time for your practice. We want you to tell a story about a memorable trip you took or about the happiest day of your life.
Remember the 5 parts. The beginning to set the scene, the middle with the action, the ending, your feelings, and the lesson learned. And please remember to use connecting words like because, then, after that, and finally.
And if you forget a word, do not stop. Describe it. Talk around it. We want you to pause the audio right now and speak out loud for 3 full minutes. Tell your story now. Welcome back. We know that speaking continuously for 3 minutes takes a lot of mental energy.
It really does. It's a workout.
But every single time you do it, the pathways in your brain get stronger.
Yes.
You're actively building real fluency.
Absolutely. And when you tell good stories, people feel connected to you. And when people feel connected, they start sharing their own problems with you.
That is so true. Which brings us to day 25. Today, we're learning how to give advice.
Giving advice in a second language is quite tricky. When friends or colleagues share their problems, they are usually looking for a little bit of guidance. But there is a sociology to giving advice.
The sociology.
Yeah. If you do it wrong, you can sound very aggressive.
Oh, yes. If you just say, do this, or go to the gym, it sounds like a command from a boss.
Yeah.
It changes the power dynamic completely.
Right. To give good, polite advice, we use specific target phrases. Listen carefully. You should. You could. Why don't you? I recommend, if I were you.
And there is a golden rule for giving advice in English. You must always explain why the advice is helpful. The why is what makes the advice feel supportive instead of bossy.
Let's show how this works with a role play. You have a common problem, and I will try to help you using the target phrases and explaining the why.
Okay, I really need some help. I am struggling terribly with time management. I feel like I never have enough hours in the day to finish my office work, study my English, and just relax. I'm exhausted all the time.
Oh, I understand. That is a very common and frustrating problem. You should try waking up just 30 minutes earlier every day. I recommend this because it gives you a quiet, peaceful time in the morning to plan your day before the rest of the house wakes up.
Waking up earlier. That sounds painful, but the planning part sounds good.
Well, you could also try making a physical to-do list every night before you go to sleep. If I were you, I would write down only the 3 most important tasks. This is helpful because it stops you from feeling completely overwhelmed by a giant, impossible list.
Just 3 things. I really like that idea. It feels achievable.
And why don't you leave your phone in a completely different room while you are studying English? You will finish your practice much faster because your brain won't be constantly distracted by social media notifications.
That is amazing advice. Let's step back and break down that role play. You use the target phrases beautifully. You should try.
And notice how I followed the golden rule. After every single suggestion, I explained the reason why. I did not just say, make a list. I said, this is helpful because it stops you from feeling overwhelmed.
It makes a huge difference.
It does. Explaining the why proves that you actually care about the other person's feelings.
I want to push back on one of those phrases, though.
Oh, which one?
If I were you. Okay, wait. Isn't that a little presumptuous? Like, if a stranger or even a friend said, if I were you, it might sound like they think they are smarter than me. Why not just say, you should do this?
That is a great question, but it is actually the exact opposite in English. Saying, you should do this implies authority. But saying, if I were you, is an act of radical empathy.
Radical empathy.
Yes. It means I'm mentally removing my own ego and trying to step into your shoes. I am imagining living your life with your problems. It is actually one of the softest, kindest ways to offer advice in English because it makes the other person feel deeply understood.
Ah, empathy versus authority. If I were you, I would. Yes, that does feel much softer when you put it that way.
Let's model one more quick scenario so our listener can hear the rhythm again.
Perfect. This time, my problem is making friends. I just moved to a new city for work, and I feel very lonely.
I am sorry to hear that. Moving to a new city is always tough. Why don't you join a local sports club or a weekend book club? I recommend this because you will instantly meet people who already share your specific interests. You will already have an easy topic to talk about.
That makes sense. But I am a little shy around large groups.
Well, if I were you, I would try smiling and just saying a simple hello to one new person a day, maybe the barista at the coffee shop. You should do this because a simple smile is the lowest pressure way to open the door to a conversation.
Fantastic. The advice is clear, polite, and the why is perfectly explained. Now it is your turn, listener. You're going to practice giving advice out loud.
Here is the scenario. Imagine your good friend comes to you and says, I really want to get fit and stay healthy, but I absolutely hate running and I hate going to the gym. What should I do?
We want you to give your friend 2 distinct pieces of advice out loud. Use phrases like, you should, why don't you? Or if I were you. And remember the golden rule. Explain why your advice will help them. Pause the audio now and help your friend. Great work. Giving advice with clear reasons is a wonderful way to build trust and strengthen relationships using your English.
It really is. And you know, advice often comes down to choices. Doing this versus doing that.
Right. And to help someone choose, you need to know how to compare things. Which brings us to day 26. Describing and comparing.
Explaining your preferences usually means comparing 2 different concepts. You have to explain why one choice fits you better than the other. To do this smoothly, we use specific comparison language.
Our target phrases for comparing are both, however, on the other hand, compared with, I prefer.
Think of comparing 2 things like driving a car. You were going down one road talking about the benefits of the first thing, but then you need to turn and talk about the other thing. If you just suddenly turn the steering wheel, you crash the conversation. You need a turn signal.
A turn signal. I like that analogy. So what is the turn signal in English?
The phrase, on the other hand, is the ultimate turn signal. When you say, on the other hand, the listener's brain instantly knows, a shift is coming. We are looking at the opposite viewpoint now. It prevents conversational crashes.
Let's do a debate to show this in action. Let's compare summer versus winter.
Yeah.
I will start the car. Both summer and winter have things that I really enjoy. Summer is absolutely great for going to the beach and spending long days outside in the sun.
However, winter is wonderful for staying indoors, having cozy nights by the fire, and drinking hot chocolate.
That is true. On the other hand, the days are very short in winter, and it gets dark so early in the afternoon. Compared with winter, summer gives you so many more hours of daylight to be active and get things done. Therefore, I prefer summer.
That was a great use of the phrases. Did you notice how smoothly the ideas shifted back and forth?
Yes. Sometimes when I practice transitioning between ideas, I feel like I sound like a robot reading a grocery list. Summer is hot. Winter is cold. I like summer. But using compared with and, on the other hand, makes it sound like a flowing thought.
Exactly. It connects everything. Let's try another short comparison to let the listener hear the turn signals again. Let's compare taking online classes versus learning in a physical classroom.
Okay. Both online classes and classroom learning can help you improve your English quickly. Online classes are incredibly convenient because you can study from your own home in your pajamas.
On the other hand, traditional classroom learning gives you vital face-to-face interaction with other human beings. Compared with online learning, it is much easier to practice casual small talk before and after class in a real room. However, I prefer online classes because it saves me an hour of travel time every day.
Excellent. The ideas went back and forth, smoothly connected by both, on the other hand, compared with, and however.
Listener, it is time for your practice. We will give you a choice of topics. You can compare living in a busy city versus living in a quiet village, or you can compare drinking tea versus drinking coffee.
Think about the similarities first, using both, then use your turn signals, however, and on the other hand, talk about the differences. Finally, tell us which one you prefer and why. Pause the audio and speak your comparison aloud right now.
Yeah.
You are doing brilliantly. Comparing options is a skill you'll use every single day when shopping, making weekend plans, or just chatting with coworkers.
You really will. And now, take a deep breath.
Yes, deep breath. We have arrived at day 27. This is a very special day in the challenge. Today, the focus is speaking entirely without preparation. We call this spontaneous speaking.
Up until now, we have given you structures, target phrases, and time to plan your thoughts. But in the real world, conversations happen fast. You do not always have time to write down your thoughts or perfectly translate them in your head. Today is about building your real-world reflexes.
The rule for today is simple, but it is a challenge. You will look at a topic, think in silence for 30 seconds, and then you must speak continuously for 5 minutes. Do not write a single word down.
5 minutes might sound terrifying, but remember, real conversation is like playing jazz music. Grammar is the sheet music, but fluency is the jazz. When a jazz musician hits a wrong note, they do not stop the song and apologize to the audience. They play through the mistake and make it part of the song.
We want you to play the jazz. To show you how this works, we're going to model spontaneous speech. So please give me a random topic.
No, wait, I will give you a random topic.
Okay, lay it on me. Your random topic is my dream vacation. You have a few seconds to think.
Okay, my dream vacation. Let me think. All right, I am ready. If I could go absolutely anywhere in the world, my dream vacation would be to New Zealand. I want to go there because the nature is just stunning. I love hiking and being outside in the fresh air. In New Zealand, you can see tall mountains, sandy beaches, and deep forests all in one single day. I go to the beach yesterday. Oh, wait. I went to a beach last year that was very beautiful, but I have heard New Zealand beaches are even better. Also, I really want to learn about the local Maori culture. I think it would be fascinating to see their traditional dances and try their local food. I would probably rent a small camper van. That way, I could drive around the island and sleep wherever I want. It gives you so much freedom compared with staying in a boring hotel.
Let's stop right there. That was a wonderful start to a spontaneous speech, but I want to analyze something very important that just happened in the middle of it. You made a clear grammatical mistake, you paused for half a second, you corrected yourself, and you kept going.
Yes, I did. I was talking fast, and I used the present tense instead of the past tense. I said, I go to the beach yesterday, and then I realized my mistake and instantly corrected it to, I went.
When I make a mistake like that, I feel a massive urge to apologize.
Never apologize for learning. Apologizing stops the jazz. Making a mistake does not mean your English is bad. It just means your brain is working faster than your mouth. To our listener, this is exactly what native speakers do every day. We lose our train of thought, we use the wrong tense, we say the wrong word, and we just correct it and keep playing the song.
This is the ultimate secret to fluency. When you speak without preparation, your focus must be on sharing your ideas, not acting like a human grammar checker.
Now, listener, it is your turn to practice spontaneous speaking. This is a big challenge, but you are ready for it.
We're going to give you a topic. You can choose either my favorite teacher from my past or my biggest goals for the future.
You will take 30 seconds to think in total silence. Just picture the ideas, the feelings, and the stories in your mind. Do not hold a pen. Do not write anything. Then you will pause the audio and speak for 5 full minutes. If you make a mistake, correct it if you can, and keep going. If you forget a word, talk around it. Keep your voice moving.
Choose your topic now. My favorite teacher or say, my future goals. Take 30 seconds to think. Then pause the audio and begin your 5-minute jazz solo. Go.
Wow. Take a deep breath. If you completed that, you should be incredibly proud of yourself. Speaking for 5 minutes in a second language without a script is a massive achievement. You are truly communicating.
It's huge. And that amazing unscripted effort leads us perfectly into day 28, the final speaking challenge.
Here we are.
Today is the day we combine all the skills you have learned in week 4 into one seamless, natural interaction. Every single piece of the puzzle comes together. Because a complete, real-world conversation rarely stays on one topic. It usually includes many different elements. It includes greeting someone politely, asking questions to show interest, sharing your opinions, telling a short story, solving a small problem, giving advice, and finally, ending the conversation politely without being awkward.
We are going to model a mega roleplay for you. We will demonstrate how naturally these skills flow from one into another. Listen closely as we transition through all of these required elements.
Let's set the scene. Let's pretend I am the brand new person at a local international language meetup at a coffee shop. You are a regular member who comes every week. We are sitting at the same table, but we haven't spoken yet. Here we go.
Sounds good.
Hi there. Excuse me, are you here for the English language exchange meetup?
Hello! Yes, I am. It is nice to meet you. I am one of the regular members here.
Nice to meet you too. I am new in town. Is this a good group for practicing speaking?
It is a fantastic group. How about you? Do you practice your English often?
I try to practice every day. It's a great place you guys have chosen. So, tell me, what do you think about the coffee here? I prefer tea, to be honest.
In my opinion, the coffee here is actually very good. I prefer it for two reasons. First, I agree because the beans are always freshly roasted. Second, I believe it has a very rich flavor compared with the big chain cafes.
That makes sense. I had a very funny experience with coffee once. When I was traveling in Italy, I wanted a large cup of coffee with milk, like a latte. So I walked into a cafe, went to the counter, and just confidently ordered a latte. Well, in Italian, the word latte just translates directly to milk. So the waiter brought me a giant hot glass of plain white milk. I felt so silly, but I drank it anyway because I was too shy to complain. The lesson I learned is to always learn the exact local coffee vocabulary before you travel.
That is a hilarious story. A whole glass of hot milk. Oh, speaking of drinks, excuse me, could you help me? I have a small problem. I was laughing so hard I just spilled a little bit of my coffee on the table and I don't see any napkins around. What should I do?
Oh, no problem at all. You could ask the waiter at the counter over there. Or why don't you use one of these paper tissues I have in my bag? I recommend using these because they're very thick and absorbent.
That is so kind of you. Thank you. If I were you, I would always carry tissues everywhere. They are incredibly handy.
They really are. Well, I see my friend waving at me from the other side of the room. It was really wonderful talking with you today.
It was a pleasure to meet you. Enjoy the rest of the meetup.
Thanks. See you around.
And let's step out of the role play. Take a moment to appreciate what just happened there. That was a complete, natural, multi-part English conversation.
It flowed so nicely. Let's analyze exactly how the skills link together. First, we started with a polite greeting and introduced ourselves without being overly formal.
Then we immediately asked questions. Do you practice often? Asking questions shows interest and takes the pressure off yourself. From there, we seamlessly transitioned into sharing opinions about the coffee. We used the Day 22 target phrases. In my opinion, I prefer it for two reasons.
Right. And while we were talking about coffee, that topic naturally reminded me of a memory. So I shifted into a short story about ordering milk in Italy. It had a beginning, middle, ending, feelings of feeling silly, and a clear lesson learned.
And right after the story, a real-world problem occurred. I spilled the coffee. I used the Day 23 problem-solving reset buttons. Excuse me, could you help me? I have a problem. What should I do?
And how did I reply? By stepping into your shoes and giving advice, just like Day 25. You could. Why don't you? I recommend. And finally, we ended the conversation politely. I gave a clear visual reason for leaving my friend waving, so walking away didn't seem rude, and we said our goodbyes.
That is how true fluency works. It is not just mastering one grammar rule. It is a dance. It is moving fluidly between giving opinions, telling stories, solving problems, and offering advice. And you, the listener, now know all the steps to this dance.
Which means it is time for your ultimate listener practice. This is the final challenge of week 4 and the entire program. We want you to pause the audio and imagine having a conversation combining all these steps with a stranger.
Think about greeting them, asking a question, sharing a strong opinion, telling a brief story, and giving a piece of advice. After you imagine that flow, choose any familiar topic you love, your hobbies, your family, your favorite movies, or traditional food, and speak continuously on it for 5 to 10 minutes.
5 to 10 minutes of continuous, unscripted English speaking. Play the jazz. Do not worry about mistakes. Just enjoy the rhythm of the conversation. Enjoy the incredible feeling of using everything you have built over these past weeks. Pause the audio and take your final speaking challenge right now. Welcome back. Take a very deep breath. You did it.
You really did it, which brings us to our final review and our celebration of your hard work.
Congratulations. You have officially completed the 30-day English speaking challenge. We're both so incredibly proud of the dedication you have shown.
Think about where you were on day 1 of this journey. Look at how far you have come. You started by speaking simple, single sentences. You focused on just building a tiny daily habit of opening your mouth.
And look at you now. Now you can hold full, dynamic conversations. You know how to express your opinions clearly, hold the floor, and back your thoughts up with reasons. You know how to tell engaging stories with rich feelings and lessons.
You know how to calm your brain's panic response and solve problems politely when things go wrong. You know how to give helpful, empathetic advice to others. You can speak for several minutes at a time without a script.
But most importantly, you have learned that you can communicate in English.
Yeah.
The fear of making mistakes is gone, replaced by the joy of connecting with other human beings.
However, we want to leave you with one final brand new thought to consider as you move forward. As your English fluency continues to grow, you might notice something surprising happening to you. You might find that your actual personality begins to shift.
A personality shift. That sounds intense.
It is a fascinating phenomenon. Studies in psychology show that people often adopt slightly different personality traits when speaking a second language. Because you are using different idioms, different cultural expressions, and a different rhythm, you might discover that you are more direct, more outgoing, or more analytical when you speak English than when you speak your native language.
Exactly. You aren't just memorizing vocabulary words, you are literally building a second version of yourself. So the exciting question moving forward isn't just how perfectly you will speak English, it is who you will become when you do.
This is not the end of your English journey. This is simply the beginning of your new life as a fluent, confident English speaker. You must keep practicing every single day. Speak with your friends, join language communities, watch movies, read books, and talk to yourself out loud in the kitchen if you have to.
Never start building that second version of yourself. Never stop using the tools you have gained here, because the core truth of this entire 30-day challenge is this: confidence creates fluency, and fluency grows through daily practice. Keep speaking, keep building, and enjoy your new voice. Until next time.